everyone, it is Cyberverse and welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach, and today I'm gonna show you guys everything that you guys need to know about the new Boom Beach update, starting off with a couple of turtles here chilling onto the beach. If you actually tap on them, they're gonna be hiding into their shells, and they actually differ in size. Like, this is a really small one, and then you got like a middle one over here, and then you got the big daddy over here being all badass and everything like that. I really like this kind of feature. The wildlife has always been a great thing to see in the game, and that is something we're gonna be starting off this game with. So, let's bring up the news here. Events. New enemy approaches Colonel Gearheart. Cannot show you guys that yet. That's going to be actually out in 2 days from now. Today we're going to be finding Island Dr.Terror. And tomorrow will be Volcano Dr.Terror. And then after that we're going to be facing Colonel Gearheart. So I'm very excited about that. Tear down her war factories for the hunt of prototype modules. And then I think after Colonel Gearheart, we're going to be facing Island Edition Dr. Terror again, then Volcano once again, and then Hammerman is going to be attacking us. So in about 5 days from now, we're going to be seeing that Hammerman is going to be attacking us, and that's going to be pretty badass as well. Next up, we got the events are now daily, something we are already aware of, and something that's already pretty nice as well. I'm looking forward to having an event every single day. Then we got a couple of new stuff. Prototype Weapons Lab. Gonna show you guys what it looks like. If you just build it, it looks like this. Weapons Lab. The Weapon Lab can make powerful prototype defenses out of modules captured by the captured from the Blackguard. As you guys can see, I can carry one prototype that can actually go up to 2, and the health isn't all that high. Now, if we're gonna be upgrading this, it doesn't really show yet that we're able. It doesn't really show what we're getting from the update. Like, I'm not sure, because if we enter the weapon lab, it doesn't tell me that I'm able to build this, because I have to upgrade that. So kind of wished that with this tab it would tell me like it unlocks the next tier of the weapons lab, but I suppose that's going to be happening into the future. And then of course you need to upgrade it once again to get the third variation over here. Let's go over what we're seeing here. We're seeing a shock blaster. What the shock blaster is doing, the shock blaster shocks shock bullets at a high fire rate, dealing heavy damage and stunning the target. And look at the health that these have. It's actually pretty badass as well. And then after that, of course, number 3 is even bigger stats, even more badass, and so on and so forth. Then we got the laser beams over here. Laser beams. Future warfare. Laser beams burn through any target, causing moderate damage to all enemies in its path. That's pretty badass. Then the next one's gonna be the damage amplifier. Damage amplifier 1 amplifies the damage output of nearby defenses, building a gauss overdrive field. So the first level is going to be doing 50% damage, and then the third level is going to be doing 100% extra damage. So it's essentially like a super statue or something like that. So that's pretty interesting as well. And then last but not least, definitely not least, we got the boom cannon. Shoots a boom rate that destroys most targets outright. Very slow fire rate. It's actually on the first level doing 5 seconds between each shot, but look at the damage it's gonna be doing. It's absolutely insane. 7,500 per damage. And then at the last stage it is actually doing one shot every 3 seconds, and the damage per shot is even higher. So this is definitely the powerhouse to the max kind of thing. And then of course you also have your regular statues over here. I decided to boost mine up because I was killing Dr. Terror before, and right now yeah, the new update is out. Decided to build myself a new weapon lab, of course, and we actually got more stuff. Assemble experimental and unstoppable prototype defense. We already know that. Distract and destroy with the new gunboat ability called Critters. Now, I did myself a little favor here, and I started upgrading the next level of the Critters. It was like 5.6 million, but right now it's gonna go to level 2. The one thing that I'm missing here is that I kind of wished how much health these critters have, and also how much damage they're doing, and so on. So that is something that I feel is pretty important to know, and I kind of wish if you're watching this Supercell, please put that in, because that way people know what to expect and so on and so forth. I already did a critter attack. I'm going to show you guys a little bit later more about that. So gonna be moving on here. Distract and destroy. 2 new super challenging operations. So let's move on to the map here. As you guys can see, here's where we are. This is Operation Dead End. As you guys can see, Operation Dead End 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see the little lightning bolts between the squares. That is the amount of bases that you can attack here. And then over at the right over here, you find another base, which is more powerful than Dead End. And this time, this one has 7 bases to attack, and they're probably higher level too. And then at the bottom over here, same similar type of base, equally as badass. Once again, 7 bases to take down this operation. That's going to be interesting to take a look at. I'm fairly certain that a couple of these higher YouTubers out there are going to show them off to you guys, because we don't really have the intel. Like, my task force really doesn't have the intel. We only got 326. So if you guys want to be joining in, go ahead and apply. You need 400 medals for you to join in. The link to the, or at least the hashtag is also going to be in the video description down below. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out if you want to be joining in. Moving on, we're going to be taking a look at some improvements. You have the ability to change your name. And the way you do this is you tap these double gears at the 4th button at the left side here. And then over at the settings, you press on accounts, and over here you can change your name. You gotta take into consideration only a one-time change. If you change it, you cannot change it back. So be very careful with the name you choose. If you make a mistake, you're pretty much screwed. Then, watch your attack replays from an improved activity log. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at this. At the left side, you have the activity log. And if you press back once again, you see your attacks and the activity log. Now, the activity log is everything like, for example, whenever you got attacked, or whenever Dr.Terror has been spawning, or any of that other stuff. That is the activity log, because it is activities. Then, you also got your attacks. And as you guys can see, I already did 3 attacks, and I'm going to show you guys this very first one, in which I had a lot of fun with the critters. So let's actually take a look at this one here. So I decided to throw my critters here, and look at them. I'm just going to let you guys listen to what they sound like. So there we go. I think the critters are really cool. They make a little bit of a scary sound, but actually pretty powerful. I mean, they're pretty powerful guys out there, and they actually took down that one shock launch over there, so I'm pretty impressed with them. And then I took the critters to the test once again against this base, against Jack, and let's actually see how well I did here. So I was using the warrior's attack here, using the same ult, and I decided to use my critters onto this shock launcher. So I did a couple of tests here and there to see how the critters are going to be walking, and one thing that I noticed is that they kind of fixed the way the warriors are walking. Usually they walk in a straight line, but right now they actually go to the point in a sort of triangular motion. So that's pretty nice. So let's take a look here. So I decided to drop the critters first, which I thought was going to be a mistake, and I'm going to show you guys why I thought it was a mistake. So I'm dropping the critters there, and then after that I immediately dropped the shock. And it seems that the own shock is not going to be affecting the critters. Something that I noticed. And then I end up dying, as you guys can see. But then I got a couple of critters here. And of course I got a barrage here. And I took out this base. Which, it was one of my nicer victories, I must say. I mean, I always like taking down the base with having no units left. But still, regardless of that, you can actually flare the critters and you can use a medkit on them. And it seems, I'm not entirely sure, but let's actually test it out right now. Are the critters being able to get shocked? Let's go to a jaw dropper here. So I'm gonna be dropping some critters. Just like that. And can you shock them? Yeah, you can actually shock them. It seems that the shock, whenever I dropped the critters before and I dropped the shock after that, the shock kind of like gained in onto the critters, because the critters take a longer time to actually get that distance compared to whenever you drop the shock. Also, another new feature into the game is whenever you need to retreat, you need to tap the confirmation button twice. So if you take a look at the right top corner, you see end battle. If we drop a critter, it changes to retreat. So if we tap on retreat, you need to confirm it, and then you can retreat. So I think that's a nice thing, just in case like people accidentally retreat. I had it a couple of times, but it can also be a downside. And the reason for that is your units might be getting damaged for that 1 second, and you might be losing one because of that. So that's another thing. Then drag your base, or swap your base, swap your buildings. And I really like this feature, I really do. Like if I grab this machine gun over here, go over the flamethrower, whoop, just like that, you got a flying flamethrower. Do it with the sniper tower, you got a flying sniper tower. Do it with the shock launcher, you got a flying shock launcher. Now do it with the headquarters. It's not possible because it doesn't have space. So take that into consideration. Funny thing that I did notice was if we do this mortar over here with this radar, it actually does work because it has the space. So you got cool little features here. I mean, I really like what I see. Maybe if we can swap this as well. Yeah, headquarters can swap too. So yeah, this is a really great feature. And you can also do it with the landing crafts, of course. So if you got landing crafts that are messed up, like for example like this, you're like 17, 14, 17, 17. You can always be like this and just swap them back. It's very helpful. I just gotta say, it is very, very helpful. Then, what else do we got? We got check out the task force operation stats. I think that is this, like an improved activity log, but I cannot confirm this. Like, yeah, I think it is. I think it is that. I'm not entirely sure about that. And of course, there's a couple of other features that are being added to the game. Like for example, you got some new improved graphics, like the dogs, for instance. I don't think that any of the defenses got a graphical change or anything like that. So no problem there whatsoever. But my weapon lab is here. And I'm pretty happy with that. So, I actually got a question for you guys. What do you want me to upgrade in my base? That's going to be the question of the video. If you guys see anything that you want me to upgrade, then please let me know and I'll get to work on that. And in the next couple of episodes, we're going to be taking this this update a little bit more under the loop and talking about more specifically about some of the features. And of course, I'm going to show you guys some critter gameplay because the critters is going to be a lot of fun to play around with. So that being said, this is going to be doing it for this episode of Boom Beach. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, make sure that if you guys like this video, to boom, give it a thumbs up. And this has been Reverse of Boom Beach. I'm going to be signing off and I'll see you guys in the next one.